Morning everyone, we're back again, Saturday morning here, I don't know, I think it's the 8th of March, another beautiful day out there, and working on the old rusty 37 Plymouth here again. So, as I mentioned in the last one, I wanted to show you how I dealt with the hinges being all bent and twisted and having to drill them out. So, I'll just bring you over and show you what I've done, what I'm doing. Get you in position here. So I took the door off, just pulled the 1/4-inch bolts out that the owner had stuck in there. Everything was pretty loose. I took the pieces off of the door, or off of the door jamb, and put them in the vise. I drilled them out to 5/16, and I just made sure that they were straight. And then I took a level, and they're not adjustable in and out, other than the top one. It can come out probably 1/8 of an inch, and there's just enough adjustment in there to do that. I think you can see the gap. So I can loosen these ones, and the plate on the inside actually moves a bit. But the critical adjustment is this one here, making sure that all three are parallel up and down. And they are. So if they weren't, then I'd have to bend one of these to get everything lined up. And that's the only adjustment you have forward and back to set your door gap at the back. So if the gap's too wide here and too tight at the back, you have to bend these forward, or vice versa. So, and then on the door itself, I check them for the same thing. The big one is front to back, or top to bottom, and these ones are lined up really good. The issue on these was, and I don't know if I can show you, if it'll show up here, but the pins, or where the pin goes in, they're actually kind of tweaked up. They've been kind of spread. So what I do, I use my level, and I take my little tool here that I made, and it doesn't take much, and I just give them a twist to straighten them back out until I get until they're parallel with each other there. Once you have that done, then everything else should be good. They should line up. Now I have to drill these out to 5/16. That's not terrible, but I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so I've got the two outer, the upper and the lower hinge drilled out to 5/16. I just used a bit, and I went in from the outside. They're pretty much self-aligning. It's kind of like a pilot hole. Now for this one in the center, there's no way to get the drill bit in here. So what I did was I took a piece of stainless steel 1/4-inch rod, and I welded it to the end of the old 5/16 drill bit, made sure it was good and sharp. And then you just have to make sure you are gentle and don't break it off in there. So I'll bring it back. Come on. And just get this drilled. Go nice and slow. My weld is a little bit bigger than 5/16, so I can't pull the bit back out. I just have to pull it out that way. So that takes care of the hinges. They're both, the centerpiece as well as the outer piece are 5/16. Next thing we're going to do is build some pins. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got these 5-inch long 5/16 bolts that I'm using for pins. What I've got it is chucked into the drill press, and on the underside, I'm not sure if it's going to focus, there is a little area where the bolt tightens down to. I use my angle grinder and I grind it down till I hit that shouldered edge on the inside here, and then I use the, well, I'll show you here, I'll just round it over into a dome shape. The one thing you want to be careful with if you have a drill press with a tapered chuck like I do is don't push down with your angle grinder. Make sure you're always pushing up a little bit, otherwise your chuck can fall out. Ask me how I know that. We'll just get this started here. Maybe pop this out of here. Doesn't take very long at all. You get a really nice dome shape, and there's a hinge pin. So I'll do the other three, then I can cut them to length, and I'll just put a little taper on the point where they go through. Okay everyone, we're back again. It's another Sunday morning here. Going to be a really warm day, tons of wind blowing, typical in southwest Saskatchewan. So still working on this door. I'll just show you where we're at. I got the rust cut out of the bottom here. There was a lot of stress cracks. As you can see, this piece is almost, well, it is broke right off now. But before I make my patch to go in here, I have to get the damage out of the door. And it had a dent in here that somebody had tried to pound out, and there was two creases. This one here goes up like this, and this one goes like this. And they were really pronounced, they were really raised, and I was having a hell of a time getting them out. So what I did was I built a little tool that I hold underneath, and I can lightly tap. What it does is allows me just to push down the crease itself. Takes a real soft touch. All this is a piece of 1/4 inch plate with two pieces of 1/2 inch rod welded to it that I've cleaned up really good and rounded the ends over. So I'm going to keep working on this, get this all nice and flat, and then I can weld in my repair here. And then I figured I'd start looking at the back of the door because it looked a little strange. And I've already taken a 1/4 inch of Bondo off of here, and there's still a bunch more. So God only knows what kind of surprises are underneath there. Looks like I'm going to be doing another patch on the back of this door like I did on the other one. So fun. Got the hinges are all taken care of, so I'll show you some of the other stuff I've got done. Been working on a little bit of other stuff when I get frustrated. I built the new deck where the convertible top stores in. It was all rusted out in the bottom. The back end here, I did a little bit of planishing here. Right here, I had to cut out some really bad damage, welded in a patch there. Some more planishing, some shrinking on the back end there. And over here, there was a really nasty damage right here in the back corner. This had been pushed up. The wire edge had a big V bent into it, so I had to cut that all out, replace the wire edge, and then make a patch panel to go in there. It was all stretched in here, so I had to shrink all of that as well. So just been kind of plugging away, trying to get all these things on the to-do list done. This door is going to be a big one, get it finished. And then on this side, I guess he said that they had some external latches to hold the roof down because the other ones were broke, so I have to fill all of these holes as well. Okay, everyone, we're back again Monday morning. Actually, it's Monday afternoon. Been giving her on her again. So I got this door done. I got a little bit more shrinking to do in here. Ended up there was almost 3/4 of an inch of Bondo in here. They never even tried to straighten out the dent. They just filled the whole thing full of Bondo. I was able to work it out pretty well. This area keeps oil canning, so I've just got a little bit more shrinking and it'll be good. The back edge here, the door gap was really bad, so I had to trim from up here down to 1/4 of an inch at the bottom and move the gap over, and I had to just replace a little bit of the steel on the inside here. The other thing I've been working on is I got the front clip off so that I can do the repairs on the cowl, and then there was more surprises under there. He left me a list of, I think there's 7 or 8 holes I have to fill on the firewall as well. I don't know, I guess they were put there by somebody else. There used to be an antenna here. I got those filled in this morning, and I got the cowl repair done on this side. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so that worked out well. There was just this piece here at the bottom that was all rusted out. Fairly complicated piece. It forms the gap here, so I had to break a piece 90 degrees, put the curve into it, then I made my patch and I butt welded it or edge welded it to the edge here, then this folds down underneath, and naturally when I cut this piece out, the inner rocker was rusted out, so I had to repair that as well. So the other side so far doesn't look as bad. For rust, I still have to check the bottom. Just have to get this running board off. It's tore out here where the lower bolt for the fender goes. Looks like there was a bad crash or something. This was all pushed in, and I probably took another 1.5 pounds of lead off of here. So there is access from the inside. I don't know how good it is. I'm going to have to try and planish all of these dents and everything out of here. Get this straightened out the best I can. Then I'll have to put a patch in here with a new bolt for the lower. And I see this top one is all tore out as well, so I'll have to figure out how to fix that one. So we'll just carry on here, a little bit at a time, get this thing finished. Okay, everyone, so we're back again, another new day. It's Wednesday. I didn't film anything yesterday. It was kind of head down, ass up, just giver, trying to get all this little boring shit done to try and get this thing finished. So I'll show you what I ended up on this side. Like I said, I had really good access. I got in and got most of the wrinkles and everything worked out, all the high spots. The only part of this that shows is from here up. So it's going to be pretty easy for the body shop to blend that in. I put this repair in down here with the new bolt, and I was able to straighten this all out. This was all rolled in, even the firewall part of it here. And I did get a new bolt fastened in the back side of that. On the rocker panels, I had to put 2 mounting bolts, or 2 mounting nuts. I had to drill and weld 2 flange nuts in this way, going up for the running board to bolt 2 in the center. And then on the this side, I got all 8 of those holes filled, as well as another spot of rust I found down here that I got fixed up. The other part that was a real pain in the ass was I lifted the body up about 8 inches on the front end, pivoted on the rear mounts, and I fixed that hidden rust that was underneath. I used 14 gauge on that because it is part of the structural member. I couldn't get in there myself to see what I was doing, let alone any filming, so I didn't bother. But that's all done. I painted everything before I let it back down on the frame and put the bolts in. So this morning, I've decided to attack the hood. Both the front and rear mounts were missing. They were tore right off, so I had a spare hood that he brought me that was in really bad shape, but the mounts were there, so I was able to copy them. Pretty simple stuff. This is broke two ways, and then there's a slotted hole in it. The front one's just a straight piece across, and with two slotted 1/4-inch holes in it. So that's all done. Next thing I'm going to work on here is the running boards, and I'll bring you along for that. I got a little bit of rust repair to do on those and a whole bunch of straightening. Okay guys, so I've got the running boards up on the table here, just assessing what I got to do, and go figure, way bigger problem than I thought. Everything on this car is like that. So the driver's side one isn't terrible. It's got a little bit of issues on the back end here that I have to replace a little bit of steel. And then as you can see right here, we got a whole bunch of rust right on top of the mount that's here, so I'll have to cut that out as well. So not terrible on this one. Passenger side, totally different story. It's all rusted out in here. And the front end is a disaster. Even the brace is rusted out here. It actually needs a repair that comes from here out and from here out. I really don't want to get into making a whole new running board. Just too much work. And they're going to get covered with rubber anyhow. And you can see right here, it's rusted right through as well. So it's pretty badly pitted on the top side. But I guess I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and get her done. This is number 3 left on the list to do. There's only 3 things left to do. This, repair the windshield frame, and then there's one little spot on the inside of the windshield frame, and I just have to weld 2 cracks in the A-pillar on the inside where the kick panel goes. So anyhow, I guess I better get into this, get these done so I can get this thing out of my hair. Okay everyone, we're back again. I got the running boards all repaired. The passenger side, I had to replace a really large piece in it, and I had to completely rebuild the brace that goes underneath. The back end was good, didn't have to do any repairs on it. So I got them all straightened out. Had to do a little shrinking on the edge, a little stretching in places just to get it level. And then I did the same on the other side. It needed 2 smaller patches, one at the front and one at the back. Again, fairly easy stuff. All I did was cut the old piece out. I had to rebuild a little bit of the structure underneath this one on the end, and then a little patch over there. I didn't see the point in getting too carried away. They are getting covered with rubber, and they have little holes in them for ventilation all over the place anyhow. So if there's the odd little pinhole left, I think it'll be fine. They just need to get stripped and coated with rust converter really well. So the next thing I'm working on is repairing around the windshield frame, and it was pretty rough. This is the piece here. Hopefully you can see. We have, it's like Swiss cheese along the top there and down in here. So what I did was I dissected as much as I could to get it out. The inner structure is all in really good condition. Then I broke a piece at 90 degrees, well just under 90, and used the shrinker, just put the proper radius in it, got the top shaped to exactly where it has to be, and drilled all my spot weld holes to go to the lower framework. And then I'm going to have to do a butt weld along the top here and then dress it down with the grinder. That's what I'm going to start working on right now. And then the only thing left on that, in that far corner on the bottom, there's a little spot of rust about 2.5 inches long I got to fix. And then I just have to make the covers that go on the front side of these hinges. Why they're there, I have no idea. They only put them on the top hinge. Kind of strange. So I'll build those next after I get this all done. Hey guys, we're back again. It's another Friday, I guess. Another week just about over here. So I got the windshield repairs all done. I got this piece welded in, ground off really nice. The other side, I had to weigh how bad I wanted to tackle that, and what I chose to do was repair just the thin spots that were really rusty. I didn't want to get into it too far. There's a bunch of lead in the cowl, and if I'd have started welding too much, I'd have started getting rid of that. And if you get warps in this, it's really hard to fix. So I got that all sealed up. I sprayed rust converter on everything, so everything here should be good. So the last job I have on this, the last one, is for some stupid reason, they have hinge covers on the back side on all 3 hinges, but only the top hinge has one on the front side, and I'm not sure why that is. So I took this one off so I could repair the hinge. I have to weld it back on, but the one for the passenger side was missing. So I used this for a pattern while it was off, and I'll just show you what I've done. I just took a piece of 18 gauge, the right width, and I ran it through the planishing hammer with my highest radius dolly, and I got the rough shape into it here, and then with a whole lot of planishing on dollies and in the vise, and then I welded some ears on. I'm just about ready to start dressing this up, get it all ground to shape, and then I have to put it onto the hinge and spot weld this to that heavy piece of steel. So I'm just not quite sure how that's going to work out for me. I'm hoping it's all going to come out. I may end up having to use the TIG welder because I don't know if I can get the heat into the heavy piece before this all melts away with the MIG welder. Okay, so here's the factory deflector that's on the front of this hinge. On the driver's side, that's the factory original one. And just take you over here. And here's my fabricated one. I think mine's actually nicer. Closes up the gap a lot better. And you know how it is. So here I am. I thought this job was done. Just going to put you in the tripod here for a sec. And that was the last item on my to-do list. And it's he brought me a whole stack of parts here. Lots of little stuff. Fixing the seat frame's kind of rusty. The glove box door is rusty. Windshield frame needs a couple pieces welded into it. So probably got another 10, 12 hours of work on that stuff. And but the main part of the car is done. It's going to be going to the body shop on the 21st. So kind of glad to have that part of this job finished here. So I think we'll just do a quick recap here of what I've done. And it's been right now 445 hours is what I have in it. And there's not a piece of this car that I haven't touched. So it's got new floors front to back. The 2 front pieces he has at home, he never brought them with him. We got the X frame underneath. I had to completely rebuild the X part of that. The new tray for the convertible top to sit in. Had to completely rebuild the quarters, the flanges on the fenders, new inner fenders. Built a new rear roll pan, bottoms of the fenders at the back, new bottom on the rumble seat here, repairs on the corners, all the way around. Had to do new quarters behind the doors, had to repair both doors. I'll just grab a screwdriver here and I'll open up the rumble seat. If I can get in there, we can just go through that. Sorry about that. It's kind of dark in there, but you've all seen it if you've been following along. So everything inside here is new from the front back. Fairly big job there. And then all the repairs on the front fenders, the firewall, the windshield, just almost never ending. The grill nose, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm figuring by the time I finish off this little stuff here, we're going to be right around 480 hours. Maybe not quite, 470 hours. So one of the biggest projects I've ever taken on. And it's been a real learning experience. Definitely increased my skill set. Lots of stuff I've never tried before. So anyhow, guys, don't be afraid to try. Get out there, bend some steel. I didn't waste a whole bunch. You can always manipulate it back in or weld another piece in. So I'd like to thank everybody for all the support, all the subscribers, the old subscribers that have been with me since the start, and all of the new subscribers. So anyhow, guys, take care. We'll catch you on the next one.